Hi everyone, my name is Moni.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we're going to be previewing a game that is currently on Kickstarter called Artisans of Splendent Vale.
This one's published by Renegade Games and designed by Nikki Valens, and you might know them from games such as Quirky Circuits and of course Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. And this is the newest design that was, like we said, on Kickstarter.
And so their most recent design is primarily a narrative, story-driven campaign style game where players are working together to explore this lush, beautiful landscape known as Splendent Vale. It features really bright, colorful, beautiful artwork and a diverse set of characters. And so today we're going to show you around the game a little bit, but because it is primarily a campaign-style narrative game, we are not going to give away too much in terms of spoilers. It's all going to be kept to more surface-level information, but if you are interested in learning more about the game, we'll include a link to their Kickstarter down below.
Now, we do want to note this is a prototype copy of the game. It is a very high-quality prototype, but things may be subject to change in the future. And also, if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future as well, please consider subscribing.
And with that, I think we're ready to begin. So if you please direct your attention to the center of the table, we're all set up here for our two-player game of the Artisans of Splendent Vale. I guess there's no the, it's Artisans of Splendent Vale.
Yes.
Apologize. And so just kind of give you the lay of the land. Each player plays as one of 4 characters. And so along with your character, you have your character sheet, which records all of your information, as well as probably the most important part of the game, your character book. And so I am playing as Javi, and I'm an artificer.
Yes, and I'm playing as Farah, and I'm a tailor.
We also have some custom dice as well as the scene book, which we are going to be referencing in a second. And so the way that a session works is you pretty much play the game until everybody is done for the night. And then there's a way that you can save your spot so that you can pick up from where you left off the next time you play. And you pretty much just play like this until you reach the end of the story. And so when you embark on your first journey through this game, everybody's going to turn to the beginning pages of their personal books. And there's a little bit of setup that is specific to your character, as well as character passages about all 4 characters that are told from the eyes of your character.
That's right.
And basically everything in your book is told from the perspective of your character.
Exactly, yep.
The first time you play, you're basically going to turn to the very first adventure. And the way that the narrative works in these books is everybody pretty much has the exact same passages to read, except only one person is the primary narrator. That narrator can switch from person to person if you all want to take turns reading. But as you go through the passages, you'll notice that there are also specific sections that are only to be read by those specific characters if they are in play. And so we may be reading the same story, but as soon as we go to where the symbol for Naveen's character comes into play, then Naveen will read for
myself.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of a passage, you typically will find yourself at kind of a crossroads where you're going to have to make a decision with the group. And so there's kind of a multiple choice, choose your own adventure aspect of this game.
Yeah, it'll either direct you to a new passage or to the scene book, or it'll present you with options that you must collectively decide to choose which way you want to go. And sometimes those options are only available if certain characters are in play. Some pages in this book also showcase specific maps that are in line with what's going on in the story. And in these maps are numbers that are embedded in the image. And so whenever you see these numbers, you would turn to those pages in the book as well to read those passages. And they all directly relate to what you're looking at in the map. Yeah,
so like an example would be maybe there's a number on a window. And if you want to explore what's outside that window, you go read the passage and then the story will kind of develop that way.
Exactly. And that's pretty much how these character books work. A majority of adventures you go on are going to direct you from this book to the scene book in which you would be engaging in battle with the enemies of the story, which are called mobs. Yeah. And so here we're turned to the very first scene. We're not going to showcase any of the other pages just in case you'd prefer to not have it be spoiled. But the way that these work is over here, it tells you all of the setup information for the scene. It'll tell you all the different kind of baddies or mobs that you're going to be filling the page with and where you place them initially. And of course, it also tells you the special rules for this specific scene, as well as the goal or the object, basically what you're trying to do. And in this specific scene, we're pretty much just trying to eliminate all of the mobs, or all the baddies.
The baddies.
And in general, the way that combat works with the scene book is at the very top here is the initiative track, and it showcases all of the different characters that may be in play. And so turn order is dependent on the order of the characters that you'll see from left to right. And so basically, the very first person who's going to make a move here is Farah, or Naveen's character.
Yes, I would be the first player to go. After that, we would move this little token down, and then that would be the next character, and so on and so forth. So any characters that are not currently in play, you just basically skip over until you find that character that is in play, and then resolve.
And the various actions that you can take on your turn are all listed on your character sheet, which we largely haven't really mentioned yet. If you turn to the back here, It tells you everything that you can do during these action scenes. And some of the actions that you have available to you are slightly asymmetric depending on the character that you're playing as. And the way that the system works is all based off of these custom dice. The dice have different symbols on them, and basically on your turn, you can perform up to 2 actions by spending those specific dice from the die pool. So things like boots over here allow you to move up to 2 spaces on the map. The kind of kapow symbol allows me to punch. Yeah, I think that's a basic action for everybody. And this is basically an attack symbol that allows you to attack the mobs on the board. Javi also has telekinesis as well as augmented strength. You may have the ability to acquire items and additional things that you'll be notating on your character sheet that may help you during battle. And when you take damage, you also notate that on your character sheet as well. Each player has their own toughness level. And if you ever take damage equal to or greater than that toughness, then you gain trauma, which you'll also record here, which is not very good for your character, as you can probably tell. We also have the ability to gain potions, which you'll notate here. And that is just the basic concept of how you're going to be engaging in battle. When it comes to the baddie's turn or the mobs, the way that works is you're going to roll one of the custom dice, and each specific type of mob has kind of like an action sequence depending on the die face that you roll. And so in this example, it is currently Legia's turn, the raid leader, and so I would just roll a die for their turn, and it shows that symbol, which is kind of like the crystal symbol, which means we're going to follow this action sequence under pull and blade. They're going to attack, then they're going to move for 2, and then they're going to attack for 2 again. Yeah. So you basically just do what it says on their action sequence. And you continue playing this way until you've resolved the scene. At that point, players typically gain experience, which you're going to notate on your character sheet. And experience helps you fill out this part of your character sheet that is specific to your character. Each character's roadmap helps them unlock new kind of abilities or things that are specific to their character, depending on kind of how far you go around the map.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yes, and so that is something that you'll improve upon as you play the game. As you progress through the game, you're also going to be acquiring certain components in order to craft items. And the components are also specific to your character. So Javi can acquire iron, brass, gold, quartz, as well as materia powder, which is something that everybody has in common.
That's right.
Because I believe it's specific to Splendent Vale. It's specific to the land.
It's the material from like this an asteroid or meteor shower that created this land.
And so the reason why Javi has this combination of components is because Javi's an artificer. And everybody crafts differently depending on their unique storyline. The game also comes with a map where you'll be labeling the different areas after going through those adventures and completing those areas.
It's like landmarks.
Exactly. And the game also comes with a box that includes all of the different cards that you'll be acquiring that showcase tools and items and various traumas and just
weapons.
All sorts of things that are going to be unique to this storytelling kind of game. And so that is Artisans of Splendent Vale in a nutshell. Like we were mentioning, we weren't able to give away the full details of the game, but if you're interested in learning more about it, it is currently on Kickstarter, and we've included a link down below. If you have any questions about what you've seen today, or just any questions about the game in general, please feel free to leave us a comment, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, please consider subscribing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.